hello to me, Philip, and this is a Gameboy Colour. It's obviously faulty, which is why it's sitting here. I picked it up from eBay, of course. The seller had it up for £29.99. I offered £25 plus the £3.39 postage, so £28.39. And it states only works when plugged in. No games to test if it reads, spares or repairs. It came with the charger. Well, it's not a charger really, it doesn't charge anything up. Power adapter. And the power adapter is a bit junky. You can see it going on and off there, which may be why it doesn't work on batteries. So we'll address that first. I did hear a speaker. The screen's working. And I did hear a speaker click. But there's definitely something wrong with the jack on the motherboard, I think. So I'm not going to bother putting batteries in. There's a bit of shmoo on there. I don't know what that is. The cartridge connector looks nice and clean. Shiny pins. There might be signs of a corroded battery in there, but that doesn't look too bad. I've got a couple of old Colour. I've got a couple of old Colour motherboards. Should I need a spare fuse? That doesn't look too bad. There's some corrosion on the bottom there. Hopefully that'll clean off with some vinegar. There's some more corrosion on the bottom of the battery cover. Where's that come from? Oh no, that's just fallen off. That's just fallen off there. I couldn't have fell off there, surely. It has, you know. So that's fallen off there. How come it's deteriorated that chunk of metal so badly just to fall off? But it doesn't look like it's done too much damage to the board. That's crazy. I'm starting to see a little bit more corrosion around here and around here. So, and up here. Uh-oh. It's getting worse the closer I look. I'm frightened to take this off. Yeah, that doesn't look great, does it? I might get away with it. Well, I know the screen works. I don't know what to tackle first. I think I'll have a look at this. Right, so it's definitely in need of some restoration. I'm thinking about taking the whole thing off and seeing if I've got a replacement one in better condition. Hang on, that's not that. That's that. That's what I should be looking at. So the jack plug, the headphone jack, looks absolutely awful. And that doesn't look too good neither. The solder points look okay. That might just need a clean out. The headphone jack looks like it's got something growing in it. But the headphone jack needs to be in good condition for the speaker to work. I may just take them both off if I've got a decent replacement. So I've got this one. It doesn't look great, but it's better than what's on. It's not very good, is it? Try another one. These look a bit better. Yeah, we'll take them off and swap them over. That's terrible. I wondered if I should have tried to clean off the corrosion with some white vinegar first before I put a hot soldering iron on it. So I've just cleaned that flux off with some IPA. That's a little bit white vinegar, but that's not doing much. So I've just got boiling white vinegar and IPA now. What a lovely combination. What I'll do is I'll concentrate on this power jack, and then I can test the machine before I concentrate on the headphone jack. I think that's the one that's holding it in. Why don't I just put some hot air on there? I'm sure it will just drop out. I can take this one off while I'm here, but I'll not be able to test the speakers until I put it back on. I mean, they're pretty bad, but I wonder how far I can bring them back to life in a vinegar bath. Oh dear, look at that. That is quite bad, isn't it? I'm just going to spend no rush, just a bit of time cleaning this up. I suspect those speaker wires are going to snap off at some point. That's a bit of white vinegar reacting on there, on the A and B buttons. You can just see it bubbling up, and this battery terminal needs to come off. Once the white vinegar stops bubbling, wipe it off and then put a bit more on, and it'll carry on doing its job. I'm just trying to remove the corrosion before I heat it up. There's nothing to grab onto the bottom to pull it off. That's it. See, the board looks okay. Doesn't look too bad. There you go. That looks okay. I'll get one on there. I'll take off the other ones off the other board, the donors, and then we'll get them put on and we'll give this board a good clean. So this is my donor one. I need that battery connector, which is currently does have a cable stuck on the bottom of it. And that one. Of course, if I was unsure if the Game Boy worked, I could have just soldered a positive and negative lead and powered it through the battery terminals using my bench power supply, and then I could have just bridged the power jack on the bottom here if I needed to, but that's the replacement battery one that we need. I'm going to add some fresh solder to all these pads, and then I'm going to use the hot air to take these off like I did last time. I've got the board in a vise now, and these will hopefully just pop out. So the big question is, have I melted them? And a little bit. I think they'll be okay. That one might be a little bit melted there. That should be okay. I'll pop these. These are the good ones, but I'm going to pop them in some vinegar and leave them to soak for a bit. I may as well do it while they're not in the board. And these are the ones that they're replacing. I wonder if I can get this cleaned up. And that's the power jack that wasn't working. It's probably worth just buying a few of each if you're going to be working on these a lot, rather than trying to clean up something like this. But if this is all you've got and you've got to take one off and clean it up, let's find out if it will clean up okay. This is the worst headphone jack. So these have had a clean up. There's still a little bit of corrosion in there, but I think with some deoxit in there, they'll be okay. Let's make sure that the power is going through this one. Right, so that's not making contact there, you see. Let's check this one. With the headphone jack inserted, it breaks contact there, so you get sound out the headphones and not out the speaker. And with the headphone removed, you should have continuity between that part and that part, and I'm not getting it. So there's corrosion in there, just in there. So I need to clean that out. The other one, let's try this one. That one works okay. So what I plan on doing is, this is the one that's not working, try and clean that out, and we'll put a bit of deoxit in there to stop them from corroding back up. I wonder what I've got to go down in there. It's very small. I'm going to put a drop of deoxit in there. Let's try that. Yep. No. So it's still not working. Need to get something down in there. A little bit of wet and dry on there. You getting in? Right, go in there. Try that. Yeah, that's got it. Plug that in. Pull it back out. Try again. Yeah, because it's got to come through there. Yeah, I think that's it. This is the other one. This is the working one. We'll just put a little bit of deoxit in there. I'll put a bit on. Put a bit on there. Give that a spin round. And that'll stop it from corroding when it's sitting in the box of spares. And we'll put this one back in the Game Boy. These are the power adapters, which should work in the same way, but they disconnect the ground. So 2 of these pins should be connected, and when I put this in, they should be disconnected. And it looks like I've guessed correctly. Those 2, that's the switch there. When I plug that in, it goes off. When I pull it out, it's on. Right, so that's correct. So again, if I put a bit of deoxit on there. Uh-oh. What's happened? It's pushed the... I think it's pushed the middle pin out. That must be the middle pin. Put that back in there. So I've got some deoxit in that one. And this is the other one. These 2 should be connected, and they are. When I push that in, they now should be disconnected, and they are. So these power switches appear to be working okay. So we'll put one of each back on the Game Boy, and we'll see if it switches on through the power jack. So there's the headphone jack and a power jack. That one's been a little bit temperamental. I think it's probably got a bit too much solder on it. And the pins. I'll see if I can heat them up, melt the solder and just press it through. I'm going to try a bit of this no clean flux. That's not sitting down as good as what it should. Put some fresh solder on. That's it, that's sitting down better. This headphone jack. And I may as well put the battery contact in while I'm here. So this is the negative terminal. There we go, that's looking nice. So we'll test that to see if it comes on before I go any further, because we still haven't been able to test any games with it. I'm not worried about the buttons. I just want to see it boot up, hopefully, to a game. Right, so we've switched, I've got the on switch to on. We'll pop a game in. I've got bubble here. We'll plug this in. We'll switch it on. Am I on? There we go. I've got Nintendo and a blank screen. Switch off. Switch back on. Nintendo. And a flashing blank screen. Oh dear. Try again. Nintendo and a blank screen. So that doesn't seem to be working. Let's try a game I know that works. Right. So I know this game works. Switch back on. Nintendo. And you're going to start. There we go. So that does work. Is it my bubble game? I'll give it a clean. Let's try it again. Nintendo. Oh, thank the Lord. Bubble. The speaker, the volume wheel, is a bit scratchy, so I'll see if I can do something with that. Right, well that's a good result. So it looks like the corrosion has just hit the outside on these ground planes. Apart from perhaps this volume wheel. I do have some replacement volume wheels. You can see the corrosion there, so I'm tempted just to take that off and put a different one on. There's some corrosion here which could be related to the up and down buttons. So with that in mind, I think I will put all the buttons in and test to make sure that the buttons are working before I replace that volume wheel, because that volume wheel is a little bit of a bigger job. See the vinegar there having a go at that corrosion. That'll just neutralise it, because the corrosion there will be behind here, so there could be, just seeing some, look, you've got a bit of corrosion possibly, oh look, down behind underneath the card slot, and that'll be a bad thing. So I'll put some vinegar on there and I'll go and get the buttons. Let's try a couple of batteries. No. Doesn't come on with batteries. I wonder if the fuse is gone for the batteries. I'm sure there's a battery circuit. Or it could be the Gameboy Colour disconnects the negative from the battery terminal when you put the adapter in. So I need a connection from here down to here and then back into the system. So we've got a negative on the battery terminal and then that comes down to here. So negative down to pin 3. Yes, and it should come out to pin 2, I believe. And it does. But where does it go after that? Interesting. Unless it's positive, that's not getting through. It could be positive from the battery terminal. I think that's supposed to come up with a switch. I think I'll have to have a look at the schematic. Right, before I look at the schematic, I'm going to quickly hook this up to the power supply and try it that way, because these rechargeable batteries are 1.5 to 1.3, so it might not have enough voltage. There you go, look. It does work through the batteries. You just need some 1.5 batteries. That saved me looking for something, a fault that's not actually there. I kind of regret buying these rechargeable batteries now. I'll have to find some more to test this properly. Some decent batteries. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I found some Kodak ones that have been sitting in a drawer. Oh, they work. Brilliant. Sorry, Kodak. Right. I need to order some proper Energizer batteries. Right, Nintendo. We just need to test these buttons. Right, start. Yeah, brilliant. Oh. It's gone a bit haywire. So the buttons aren't working. I think A and B's being pressed, I don't know, because that rotated there. Yeah, that's rotating really quickly. So one of these is rotating and the trigger, the left button, is going mad. Proper mad. Right, have a bit of a clean up. Right, so this is where I start worrying about the state of the wires underneath that game cartridge. But that wouldn't cause, I don't think that would cause the buttons to be pressed. So perhaps I haven't got this sitting in properly. It looks like I do have it sitting in there properly. So we'll clean these up and we'll see what we can make of it. In fact, we'll clean the whole board up. We'll just give it a bit of a swoosh of vinegar, IPA, alcohol. We'll clean here where we've been soldering. It was going to the right. There's a little bit of green on there. I wonder where that's came from. Right, we'll try that again. No easy fixes today. Alright. Left and right's working. Button A worked. Button B worked. Left and right's working. Down's working. I cannot say up's working. Select's working. Cannot say, can you? Select's working because it's turning that on and off, the preview. Left and right's working. A and B is working. That might be a little bit lucky. What am I doing? I just want to test another game. I've got Bubble Bobble and Ready to Rumble. Let's try Bubble Bobble because they're cute. Right, so up is working. It doesn't look up, but it is working because I was moving the starting password, and that speaker that volume wheel is working okay now. Yeah, there's up and down and select and start. That sounds okay, that speaker. I think that's probably it. Right, I'll screw this board back down. That was these 3 small screws. The only thing I haven't tested is the headphone jack, but I'll do that now after I've put these in. So this connects to a pair of speakers, desktop speakers. It'll probably be too blooming loud now. Yep. So that's working. Turn that down, turn it back up, no scratching. Brilliant. Yep, that's working absolutely fine. And that's it. So actually, all I've done, taken off the headphone jack and the power port, cleaned them and put them back on. Oh, and I've had to put a replacement negative battery terminal on, which came from a spare board. So just for thoroughness, I'll put a Gameboy Colour in, Colour game, and that comes up gobbledygook. There we go, and that's loaded. Come on, start. Sound, please. Where's my audio? I've got no audio. The bloomin'. These speakers are switched off. That audio jack's still a bit dodgy. Spoke too soon. Wow. Yeah, it's just that. Just needs a little bit more cleaning. Got some wet and dry in there. I'll soak it with IPA. That's just a bit air. Let's try that. Yeah, that's working. I'm going to put a bit more deoxit in. Right, that'll do me. If I put this back together and it stops working again, I'll have to put the other socket in. I wonder if I could get a bit of dissolvent in there, in that switch. Right, got sound. Yeah. Happy? I'm happy. Down button's not working. It's working a minute ago. Down button needs a bit of a press. Blimey, it's certainly making us work for this. Do that one. Do that one. They don't look too bad. Oh, I was hoping they wouldn't be dirtier than that. That down button looks clean as a whistle. Oh, haven't put it back in. Give these a wipe. It's possible that down button wasn't responding very well if I haven't got all the screws in the case. But I've got these two in, so that should have been okay. Got no screen. Got no picture. Buy some old electronics, they say. Learn a hobby, it'll be fun. Blooming annoying, that's what it is. Oh, look at that. Spot on. Straight down. Boosh. Straight down. Boosh. Right. Job done. Put the last few screws in, and I call that a successful fix. It took a little bit longer than what I thought. I thought it would have just been a dirty, well it was a dirty power jack. I didn't think it would be that dirty. And nobody likes a dirty port. So, that's it. Would you have done anything different? Let's plug this in just to... Speakers. Yeah, speakers are off at the moment, but the port's working okay. Right, that's it for today's video. I will turn that down. It's not a bad little... It's in good condition. Apart from the bit of shmoo behind there. But obviously you cannot see that when you're playing it. So I'm quite happy with that. That's not a bad little Gameboy Colour. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, brilliant. If you haven't, well, tough. I hope to see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. I'm brilliant at this now. Look. Easy. See you later.